Hello everyone, Justin here, and what we have here are the two diamonds that we drew in another video, an easy, simple one and a little bit more complicated one. So in this video we're gonna take this a step further and do some shading. So the simplest way to shade a diamond is to take any one of these facets and just start at any one side, start shading, and shade a gradient going to the other side. So I'm just going to go lighter as I go to this corner, and I'll go a different direction here just to try to even it out a little bit, and maybe go back, make it a little bit darker, and then take another facet, say this one, and do the same thing, except let's start from here. We're going to start at this corner and do a gradient going to this edge. Again, I'm just gonna lighten up on the pressure as I get to the other side. Change the direction of my line as I get to the edge here, just so I can stay inside the facet. And changing directions can also help to blend the shading a little bit. Okay, so with diamonds it's constantly changing, so if you turn it just a little bit, the dark side could be on this edge. So let's do another one here. This one will go from here and get lighter as we go up. A little cross hatching here just to get a little bit darker, and then spreading out the lines as I go up. Okay, and I could even make this edge, this corner, a little bit darker, but generally you want the gradient to stay fairly constant from one section to the other, just because each of these facets is flat. So if there's going to be a gradient, it's going to be kind of even going across. But the way a diamond reflects all these different facets, it's constantly changing, and it may not even reflect the actual facet that you're looking at, because it's representative of reflections from all these other facets. So let's go from here, from this upper left corner, and dark initially. This time we're going to make it a little extra dark and get lighter as we go down. And a little cross hatch, and try to even out the gradient. And then we'll do the same up here. So here, let's again start from the upper left and slowly lighten up on the pressure to make it lighter, like that. And here, let's start from the bottom left, and the gradient's going to go that way. So lighten up on the pressure, and we can blend this if you want with blending stump or your finger. So up here, let's just make this whole area just one tone this time, more or less even. And you could just leave it at that. You could leave this completely white to show that it's just completely reflecting, and go from there. But just to make it sort of uniform, I'm gonna say make a gradient from this corner going across to the left. Okay, so that's a simple way of shading. Now let's do the same thing over here, and starting with this facet, I'll just start shading from one side and then here, from one edge to the other, and then maybe from this corner, just like that, and then this one from this corner going up, and I'll just shade the whole thing, not going too white like say up here. And I'll just keep doing this with all the facets and maybe leave one or two completely white. Like let's just leave this one, this triangle, white, and make this one darker. And then from here, let's start at the corner, get light, and here let's do it from the bottom and get lighter. And here, because this is dark already here, I'm gonna just leave a slight white line, slightly thick, sort of thinnish, just to show that there's a separation there. And then from here I'll make this part dark, not too dark. And then here I'm gonna do something different here, and right in the middle I'm gonna just put a mid-tone triangle smack in the middle. And then here I'm gonna start doing things not associated with the actual shape. So here I'm just gonna do a dark tone here smack in the middle of this triangle, and then maybe a dark thinner line right next to it. And then maybe here I'll make it really dark, and then make this part a light gray. Alright, so here let's go back to our shading technique of putting a gradient right here and then here. And let's just leave this a little bit lighter. Okay, let's go back up here. I'm gonna draw a gradient from this corner going up, and then here from the top edge going down, start lightening up on the stroke, going to the corner. And then this one, maybe just a very light solid tone. And then here, let's start from this corner and get it lighter. And then here I'm gonna make this a little bit darker but fairly solid. And let's make this one dark. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll add a little bit more contrast by, say, going to this right here, and let's just make this upper part really dark and make this edge dark as well, tapering to the corner. And then say here, let's just go ahead and add a triangle, and then some random lines here, random shapes, so kind of like this. So then I'll go ahead and shade that in, and maybe this part here, I'll give it a light tone, and say here, if you look at a diamond, There are so many different reflections going all over the place, and you can't hardly tell where the facets are, just because of all the different reflections. Okay, so that's kind of a simplified way of shading a diamond. To make it really realistic, it's probably easiest to take a look at a real diamond and draw exactly as you see it with all the different reflections, and you'll have a more realistic diamond. But just as a more graphic way of shading one, you can go about just doing it this way. It's easy, simple, and it looks half decent. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.